Ramble.
Thank you to BetterHelp and FrameBridge for sponsoring today's episode.
I don't do nothing for no one for nothing. Welcome to Guilty Pleasures. Today we are talking about, actually I should say welcome to Pleasure Pleasures, because today we are talking about not just a film, maybe the finest film, the highest rated film in Rotten Tomatoes history. We are of course talking about Paddington 2. And joining us in the studio, we have Ghost Hunter himself, Ryan Bergara.
The king. Thank you for having. It's a great honor to be talking about my favorite little bear.
We stand this little bear, guys. Paddington. You may have heard online tell of how this is the best movie.
It is.
And you go, what are you talking about? It's just a children's movie. How could it be so good? The first one is a cinema classic.
Never seen it.
Incredible.
You're missing out.
I'm gonna watch it.
It takes what is just such a simple. I'm sorry for gushing. I should share the spotlight.
Like, this is his movie.
I know.
Let him do it.
Well, it's the world's movie.
It's the world's movie, and honestly, Paddington would want everyone to get their say. So.
Because Aunt Lucy taught him.
Aunt Lucy taught him manners, unless you want to get that hard stare.
It's just such a sweet, beautiful movie that is beautifully directed.
Oh my God.
And somehow the second one jumps in and goes, "Hold my bear. I'm gonna do it even better."
Yeah. It's truly wild that people talk about sequels all the time. And they're just like, sequels are always worse than the first movie. It's hard to do it better, all of that stuff. And then Toy Story 2 came out, and they're like, God damn, they can do it. You can do it better.
There's so many movies that are better by the sequel. I can think of 3 off the
Spider-Man
top.
2.
Spider-Man
2, T2,
Yep.
Dark Knight,
Aliens.
Paddington 2.
No.
I don't know about that. But I mean, I think I really hope they finish it well with the trilogy. That would break my heart. But it's not the same director from the third film.
Yeah,
There's going to be a third one?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
it's coming, baby.
I want a Paddington
Wait,
Christmas movie.
okay, so Ryan, where did your obsession, I should say, with
fair.
Paddington and Paddington 2 come from?
Well, I saw the first one by myself at the ArcLight after BuzzFeed.
All right.
R.I.P. ArcLight. R.I.P. BuzzFeed.
That was a very old-fashioned sentence. That's like saying I rented it at Blockbuster.
Yeah.
I rode my horse to the Blockbuster.
I just heard. I actually was reading. I think it was just one of my friends had written like a write-up about it on /film from my recollection. That the movie was just way better than it had any reason to be.
Yes.
And I was like, I got to see this film. So after work, I saw it with one other person who I think was also a film nerd. And at several points in the movie, I've never seen applause breaks happen with only 2 people in the theater. I applauded.
Yeah.
And I cried.
Absolutely.
The first movie, it stars, you have, the whole main cast, but then you have Nicole Kidman doing a campy villain role. You may know her from the AMC movie pre-show.
That's right.
It's somehow
Mari and I's
Heartbreak feels
favorite.
good in a place like this.
Brain.
I love it.
Talk about applause breaks. Whenever she comes on screen,
it
just
does.
immediately.
And she's right. Heartbreak does feel good in a place like that.
Just it
really
place
does.
like this. It's
Somehow. Don't forget.
Have you seen the picture of the guy saluting the screen
Yes.
as she's doing? It's so funny.
But it's like this movie, it's so brilliantly directed beyond just being so sweet.
Yeah.
And it's the way that I have tried to describe it to friends. One is like a picture book came to life. It's like if Wes Anderson directed a children's
That's
movie.
what I wrote down.
But so much better
Plus
than that.
National Treasure.
Yeah,
that's true.
National Treasure Wes Anderson fairy book.
I'm
makes
sure
sense.
we'll get into it about like the A and the B plot and how I think they're literally perfect.
They're great.
But I do love this genre of movie, using a term coined by a friend of mine, Josh Bicel. He says that this is a sneaky good movie. And I think that is the best way to describe it because, again, you come in, you're just like, okay, somebody got the IP for Paddington Bear, this old British book. They're just going to make a cash grab movie. And then they're just like, nah, I'm going to make this shit incredible. I'm going to make
cinema.
it the best.
I'm gonna put all my heart into it.
I'm going to, and then you can like literally feel the effort.
Put my full padocy into this.
Wait, can I ask a question before we get into it? Maybe I should direct this at the expert, Ryan Bergars. I have not seen the first one.
That's
And
a
I-
shame. That's a shame.
I had not seen the second one. I thought I had seen the second one on an airplane on Valium, and then I started to watch it. I was like, I definitely was watching a very different film than I thought was
Hilarious.
Paddington 2. May
You're
I
probably
ask-
watching Where the Wild Things Are.
Or
was
Peter
probably
Rabbit 2
watching,
or
like,
something.
Yeah.
Sarah Jessica Parker divorce movie or something, and I was like, this is
it might have
Paddington.
been Peter
I gotta
Rabbit.
check that out.
Can I ask a few questions just to for anyone who hasn't seen
Yeah, well, we should give
Paddington
the plot. We'll do it
1
all.
or Paddington 2? Oh, do you want to give the little log line first then?
Before we get into all of the the plot of this podcast, the structure, if you will, I do want to address the disrespect that Garrick actually said earlier.
Oh God.
He had mentioned that it was sneaky good. I find that I was offended by that.
No, I know that
It's just
that's
outright
it's just the
good.
term.
It's,
It is.
no, you've been warned.
Yeah. Okay. No. I think it is.
That's,
Fair enough.
You're being given one hard stare. Don't make it.
I
no.
love a
Yeah.
sneaky threat.
Fair enough.
and that kind of leads me to like why I was confused why you asked me to be on this podcast to talk about arguably one of the greatest movies of all time. And I guess is the guilty pleasure aspect of it that it's a children's film that's it's an Oscar movie disguised as a children's film, so
This
people
is
wouldn't
my-
expect it.
Yes, there are two reasons why. One, because it's a children's movie that no one expects and believes can be this good. And two, if we only do bad movies, I will blow my brains out.
That makes sense. That
So
does make
I
sense.
wanted to watch Paddington too.
I'm not gonna lie, this was a nice rest in
Yeah.
a week usually filled
Yeah.
with fuckery.
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
thank
you guys
God.
are doing the Lord's
Kelsey,
work.
you have been holding. Well, okay, I'll get there. I haven't known yet if Kelsey likes it or not.
I
and it's
shall not tell it till
and
we
it's
get through your
scaring me so much. I'm so scared that I'm
Okay,
gonna
wait.
have to like.
Okay, then why Paddington 2, Ryan?
I just think it's a perfect film. I think there's some movies that have like a runtime that just kind of whizzes by, and you're like, why did this movie end? And I felt that at the end of this one. I think it hits every beat that it needs to. I think all the characters are memorable. It has a great villain, which is
that was
always
a
the key
great villain.
to any kind of like kid movie, so to speak. Nicole Kidman's also great in the first one. And more than anything, I knew nothing about Paddington Bear before I had seen these films. I just heard
He's
a
his
review
full
and I was
name.
like, I'm going to check out what this bear's about. Personally, I'm a Winnie the Pooh guy, but we'll see. I came out of it and I was just kind of just enamored by this little bear. I think he is what we should all aspire to be as humans. He believes the best in everybody and he sees the best in everybody. And I'll get more into that later and why that particular quality about him really comes into play in Paddington 2.
Fuck yeah.
But in fact, and this is a true story, on my first date with my future wife, who I'm going to be married to, I don't know when this is going to come out.
It'll be like 2 weeks before your wedding.
And about 2 weeks before my wedding. I have to say that on the first date, I talked about Paddington Bear for 30 minutes. That's not an exaggeration. In fact, it almost landed me not a second date. I almost blew the date because of it, because I actually thought like, oh, this isn't going well. And then I started talking about Paddington because I'd just seen the second one, I believe, or the first. I can't remember.
It was the second.
It was the second.
It was the second.
And I was just like,
Garrick was there. He was listening.
No, I wasn't there, but I.
Oh, he was in the van.
Yeah, I was in
and
the
he was
van
letting me know.
listening to. But I had sat behind at BuzzFeed. I sat behind Bergara, and that's what we would talk about. Is because you had the Paddington Bear there, and
You had a Paddington Bear?
I have three
Paddington
Paddington
Bear
Bears.
on his
Oh,
desk.
wow.
One at the office, one at my home office.
And one, I can't tell you about the third one.
Yeah, that's right.
All I remember is the amount of popcorn we ate together. That's all I remember.
Oh, I love.
Let's just say that the third Paddington is with me right now.
Oh yeah, he's always with me, so to speak.
it's on his keychain. But yeah, that's all we talked about, and I
Yeah.
feel like anytime Paddington came up, we were talking about the second one for sure.
Oh,
for
it's
sure.
incredible.
It's
And
the
I
best
talked
movie.
about it on the date, and it got away from me.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that I had talked about it for literally 30 minutes.
But you should. You should.
You know
It is
that
a great
meme
litmus
where it's
test.
like they're at a club and a guy's just like up to a woman's face talking like this. It's anytime someone brings up Paddington, that is me.
yeah.
Well, anytime they talk about a superhero and they talk about like, okay, what superhero is the most incorruptible? They talk about maybe even like, Batman or
Captain
something.
America.
Or Captain America or Superman.
Yeah.
Paddington
is way more.
He's who those guys think they are.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
he's the true superhero in that he kills people with kindness.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, Captain America saved a war criminal that killed his best friend's mom and dad. Paddington, marmalade. That's all he needs.
Marmalade.
That's all he needs. He doesn't need anything else. He's just trying to teach these young people manners and How to Live by Aunt Lucy's.
If you tell me that a little bear could create world peace with a jar of marmalade, is that not a superpower?
It is.
I believe it.
It is. Optimism.
Listen,
is a
team,
superpower.
if you have not seen this film, I'm going to recommend that this is the first time that I recommend you turn us the fuck off.
I was about to say stop the podcast.
That is the
podcast
first time.
right now.
But if you want to listen along, we got you. I got a little quick synopsis for you. Everyone's favorite Peruvian bear is back with the Brown family. Paddington, why? He's just a little fellow who makes the world a better place through kindness and happiness. He's in the swing of things. He wants to get a present for his Aunt Lucy, the woman who raised him. He wants to get the perfect book. He finds a pop-up book, and he wants to, because she always dreamed of seeing London, but Hugh Grant, the devious actor, he wants to steal that book so that he can find a hidden treasure. He does so and frames Paddington. Paddington goes to prison.
And Paddington too. Paddington goes to prison.
Yes.
God, we're going to get into it.
I know. And Paddington, spoiler, reforms the prison system.
Yeah.
And Paddington has to clear his name and see if the Browns can help him capture the bad guy so that he can get Aunt Lucy the perfect gift. This is P2 Paddington.
Okay, questions for people who have not seen the first one
Go.
and are confused about what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah.
Why are there bears in the jungle?
So they were actually, I believe, in the first one, the lore is that I guess like an expedition of some sort got lost and then kind of taught these bears how to behave like proper humans. But for whatever reason, the bears could talk. I don't know about that part.
Okay, that was my next question was, are we in a world where only bears can talk and not other animals like dogs or birds?
Well, they kind of taught them to talk. Now that I remember, it's in darkest Peru. It's like this weird part of the forest, and they found that these bears can like.
By the way, there are cute ass bears that are native to South America, and I assume and believe Peru. They're adorable, spectacled bear,
Oh, there's jungle bears?
jungle bear.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I just realized when you were like forest, I was like, it's because they're in the fucking jungle.
Yeah.
But these bears had like they displayed like an aptitude for learning. And so like these settlers were like, well, these bears are remarkable, and they start to teach them, I guess, how to speak and
So it's regular
manners.
world, regular rules. However, these bears, basically we taught them how to talk, so we allow them to talk, and that's
Essentially, that is the conceit, and manners as well. That's they were taught proper
Kelsey,
British manners.
If I could jump in to answer your question with a pleasure, is that the bear is actually a metaphor for the immigrant story. And
It is
what
about
makes
the whole movie. The whole first movie is about immigration.
and
Okay.
what makes Paddington so great is that it shows how immigration makes a community vibrant and better and happier.
Yeah.
You have there's xenophobia in that first film. You have help me out here, Doctor Who.
the Nicole Kidman's character?
No, the guy.
Oh, the weird
Peter Capaldi,
that guy.
who plays Doctor Who. He's like community watch. He's like, this bear's gonna come in and ruin our town.
Yes.
But you just see again and again and again that Paddington's kindness makes the world better, makes everyone around him better.
He's
Okay.
just a sweet person.
Then my question was, why didn't he bring Aunt Lucy?
That was in the first one. They like had to send him away.
Yeah, they got separated.
Why?
because she couldn't sneak her way over the overseas because he got snuck onto a boat and like he was very small, obviously, and she's very large.
She's very large. She's 100 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. Those were my pre-questions.
I also want to say something happens. Never mind. I think you don't need to know that to understand the second one. I'll still have you watch the first one because that's a big moment.
No, well, because he's like, I want to get this gift for my Aunt Lucy, but she's in Peru or whatever. So I was like, well, why the hell didn't Aunt Lucy come to London? London seems
old.
like a lovely place that's very accepting
It's
of
the
brown
immigrant
bears.
story.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got your family back home.
You send stuff back home all the time. All
Copy
of the
that.
postcards are a metaphor for money. Sending money back home.
Okay. Got it.
That's so good.
I'll start off in the beginning.
Yes.
The absolute beginning of the movie.
Yes.
And how this is, I would say a masterclass in
that's
setting up a film.
That is the word that you should use.
Throughout the entire film.
You said it once during one podcast, and we haven't stopped saying it.
What, masterclass?
Yes, you said it was like a masterclass in acting, and then in that episode, Zach said it twice, and then now we just
say
continue to
masterclass.
say it.
Yeah.
It's a virus.
I've been taking a bunch of master classes anyway. No, but I think it's such
Hi,
an
I'm
incredible.
Paddington, and this is my masterclass on
I
how
would
to be
watch the
kind.
shit out of his masterclass.
Oh my god!
How to make marmalade
And if
sandwiches.
they animated Paddington the whole time,
It'd be incredible.
Masterclass on
Masterclass,
optimism.
are you listening?
Are you listening for real?
I don't think they're watching this.
For real, for real?
For real, for real.
For real, for real.
I'd watch
Here's
the
how you
series.
make a pop-up book.
Oh, I'd love it.
Here's how you make marmalade.
It'd be great.
Sandwiches. I was so fucking hungry for a
I wanted a fucking marmalade sandwich so goddamn bad.
right now.
I wanted
Jesus
a toasty,
Christ.
crunchy.
Have you guys had marmalade? Because it's
No,
not
yes.
as good as you
I've
imagine.
never
No,
had it.
it's way more tart.
Neither is Turkish Delight. I thought Turkish Delight was like the most
Narnia
incredible
did that.
thing.
Yeah, they fucked
but
us
it's
up.
Marmalade
disgusting.
is totally mediocre.
No, I think
Yeah.
marmalade is maybe the biggest loser in this film
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you watch this film and you think, oh, it must be heavenly.
Yeah.
And then you taste it and you're like, what the fuck?
It's not
is
as
this?
sugary. They put so much sugar in the movie,
Yeah.
and real marmalade isn't that sugary.
It's a little bitter.
Now, a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. Do you take care of your mental health the same way you take care of your car or your new pair of shoes? You know, when I get new shoes, I spray them down. But I want to do that to my brain too. And unfortunately, there is no spray for your brain, but there are things you can do, like talking to professionals with therapy. And I love using BetterHelp online therapy. It's so great to have therapy, to have someone you can talk to, check in with once a week, just whatever's on your mind, get it out, process it. And with BetterHelp, it's online therapy that offers video phone and even live chat only therapy sessions. So you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. I know some people get scared of that. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. I also love that BetterHelp can be flexible to my schedule. I'm all over the place, right? So I don't have time to go into an office. I certainly don't have time to keep the same appointment every week. BetterHelp makes it so easy to work it around my life. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/guiltypleasures. That's betterhelp.com/guiltypleasures. FrameBridge makes it easier and more affordable than ever to frame your favorite things without ever leaving the house. Add a gallery wall to your home office or send an easy, foolproof gift. You can FrameBridge just about anything. You just go to framebridge.com, you upload your photo, or they'll send you packaging to safely mail in your physical pieces. Preview your item online in dozens of frame styles and gallery wall layouts with recommendations from talented designers. Then they will custom frame your item and deliver your finished piece directly to your door, ready to hang. Years of photos on my phone, and I sent them into FrameBridge. Finally, we got this gallery wall that reminds me of my relationship every time I walk by. Instead of the hundreds you'll pay at framing stores, their prices start at $39 and all shipping is free. Plus, our listeners, you're gonna get 15% off your first order at framebridge.com when you use our code GUILTY. Get started today, frame your photos, or send someone the perfect gift. Just go to framebridge.com and use promo code GUILTY to save an additional 15% off your first order. Just go to framebridge.com, promo code GUILTY, framebridge.com, promo code GUILTY. I go back and I'm like, yo, I'm sorry, this bear is high as hell if he thinks this shit's good.
They want
But,
to
I
say
mean-
it's jelly. It's fucking
Yeah.
preserves.
Yeah.
It's jelly.
Well, he
Yeah.
has a secret recipe from Aunt
Yeah,
Lucy,
right.
so I
Yeah,
can't
that's
imagine
fair.
that marmalade you
Point.
get at
Yeah.
like,
It's probably
Ralph's is this fire.
Peruvian recipe. It's probably really
Probably
What-
Peruvian
what-
somehow.
complex.
But
Who just released this movie? Because I want Paddington
Whatever
at a
you
theme
said.
park,
Fuck
and
it.
I want Paddington's marmalade.
Yeah,
at a
I would
theme
love
park.
that.
If there was a Paddington theme
At
park or just a
Universal?
land, I
Yeah.
would be there every day.
Paddington Land.
my
Paddington
God.
Land. If I can get Paddington
called
Land,
Peru.
if I can get Paddington Land, and you could buy a Paddington jacket and a Paddington hat,
Little
and
hat.
his little fucking yellow boots.
Oh, that was
yeah.
my other question. Why the outfit?
It's he
It's
gets
First
just,
episode?
it's just part of the.
Okay.
It's part of his look.
It was androgynous.
Well,
I
then
loved
the
it.
The hat was his Uncle Bestuzzo's. And I think the jacket, I believe, actually came from the Browns in the first film.
Oh,
Okay.
But the hat was his Uncle Bestuzzo, which also
Yeah.
doubled as a great marmalade hiding technique. Because
Yes,
he would
yes.
always hide his little sandwiches.
Yeah.
in there.
Yeah,
Always
well,
have
it
a
was
sandwich.
androgynous, so I thought it maybe had something to do with his identity. But
Oh, you think?
yeah.
Paddington serving gender fluid?
Yeah, it was like a woman's coat and a red hat. I was like, excuse? I was not expecting Paddington to be a boy.
Little fashion icon?
Yeah.
So, Garrick, we're talking about the masterclass.
Yeah, the
Derailed us.
masterclass of the
Yeah,
beginning
yeah.
of the opening. I will say this throughout the podcast. There is literally not a word or moment wasted in this film.
I agree.
At the beginning, where you're watching Aunt Lucy save Paddington's life from a waterfall, it sets up that she wants to go to London.
Yep.
It sets up their relationship.
Oh my God,
and,
you're right.
And it sets up the fact that he had 2 bears that raised him, and now one of them has now passed. But
Yes.
and then it also sets up, I think the hat, just the hat, not the sandwich underneath the hat.
Yeah.
And
But,
his
like-
love for marmalade in that scene.
And his love for marmalade. So like so many things, like even I saw Paddington 1 after seeing the second one. I didn't need shit else for the rest of the movie. It just set up so much in 3 sentences, I want to say. That's beautiful.
It's so
it's incredible. It's
economical.
incredible in economic writing. Yeah.
Actually, now that I think about it, the whole movie, when it comes to exposition, is incredibly economical, but
It's-
also like not only just efficient, but it's also like extremely powerful and like it hits you. Like,
It
like the
does-
thing I'm thinking about is the dollhouses.
Yeah.
There's so many of those scenes.
Yeah.
Could be shot in like a much more drawn out scene,
But
and they set
wouldn't
up the
even-
exposition, like the geography.
Yeah. I wouldn't even call it a dollhouse. I would call it a pop-up book.
It's
like all of those
incredible.
pop-up book scenes and all that stuff. It's just like you're seeing the scene where Aunt Lucy is walking around in
Exactly.
London, and you're just like, oh, she's gonna love this.
Okay,
And you don't even.
I need a whole hour to talk
Okay,
about this
all right,
scene
we'll talk about that
because
later.
I sob.
Yeah.
It is.
It's so good.
I think the most beautiful scene in this movie. It is one
Yeah.
of my favorite scenes in any movie.
Yeah.
It's at the 10-minute mark. Paddington finds the perfect gift. They open this pop-up book and you zoom in.
It's so
and
good.
you
Yeah.
see them walking around London. And I am fucking brought to tears. I watched it with
Yeah.
Maggie. She wasn't watching. She looked up. She started crying.
Yeah.
Kelsey, you're looking at me like I'm crazy. And
I did
you
the
know
same
what?
thing.
You're crazy.
It's insane.
What can you
Because-
possibly say? And no, I don't even want to hear it.
Well, okay. Well, you're also forgetting to mention the fact that that's with Professor Slughorn, that moment from Harry Potter.
That's true. Yeah, I did.
And
remember
also,
him.
you also have Mad Eye Moody in this movie.
Yeah, you
He's
got a lot
Knuckles.
of Harry
And
Potter. I mean,
Mad Eye Moody is saying marmalade in the most fantastic way
Yeah,
possible.
marmalade.
Marmalade.
Yeah.
you
Brendan
got to
Gleeson
remember
deserved an
that
Oscar.
there's like 10 actors in London.
Yeah. And they're all
There were 10
from Harry
But
Potter.
I also think that all of these actors signed on because they grew up with the books.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
just like, no, actually, I'll do this. I don't give a fuck how much they're paying us, whatever. I'm down.
I'm in.
But
Yeah.
I remember watching the scene last night because I sent you a very cute video of my dog,
And I
my
was
foster dog
pissed.
Hippo,
Yeah.
I was
watching the screen. He was
Yeah.
so intently watching the screen. I was like, look how cute this is. And Zach was like, I think you called me bitch. I know you're not watching this dog while this movie is
because
on.
you have the most beautiful scene in cinema,
don't know
and
what-
you're looking at a dog.
Okay,
That's
first of all,
fair.
Hippo
That's
is
fair.
not
Dog.
perfection, as good as a marmalade sandwich, one might say. But also, what about that scene was so-
Okay.
Because go
I
ahead.
think it is just the perfect setup, again, for people who are not into this, just to show you how Paddington sees the world and how he
Yeah.
sees his relationship with Aunt Lucy. And he's just like, this is the thing that I need to do.
Okay.
I think it's a double whammy
Yeah.
of one, just how visually inventive they
Exactly.
always
Oh,
are.
That was
it is.
great, yeah.
And so like that itself is beautiful. Seeing a pop-up book come to life, and it's like, yeah, it's almost like you're watching a child's
Yeah.
view of the world.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But then you're also watching a child who just wants to do something nice for basically his grandma, right? And Lucy's his grandma. It's like, and that feeling of when you were a kid of like just wanting to do something really nice and special for, in this case, your immigrant grandmother who like has never even experienced the things you do. That is such a beautiful,
both
pure.
of mine are dead. I never had any, so that might explain why.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
It's so lovely. And that is like his thrust throughout the entire movie is he just wants to make Aunt Lucy happy. He's so
it's his
selfless.
aunt.
It's Aunt Lucy, but I'm calling it his grandma.
It's adopted grandmother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like
Oh,
that
Grandma Lucy.
feeling is so I can't think of anything more precious. I just think it's beautiful.
Auntie energy,
I
is
think
it?
this movie really does. It's a masterclass in showing you how much mileage you could get out of just focusing on being earnest and thoughtful.
Yeah.
And a character whose like center like morals are around those ideas.
Yeah.
It's incredible how much that touches you as an audience member, and like the visual style of it. Like in the first movie, they have a lot of like these things where the house will open up and it's like a dollhouse, and you could see all the characters doing different things in their
If
rooms.
anyone's ever seen Wes Anderson's Life Aquatic, when they go through the ship, it's like
It's
that
very
kind of-
similar.
yeah.
It's really inventive in the style, but that also kind of sets up like the whimsical nature of the movie.
It
Right.
really,
But I-
genuinely reminded me of Grand Budapest Hotel.
It's so good.
because
Yeah.
of like the jail and the pink and the and the sweets and the treats. And I was like, wait, this isn't just great writing and funny and cute.
No, it's dialed in.
It is fucking visually phenomenal.
And this is why I go back to the sneaky goodness of it all.
Yeah.
So that's strike two. I know.
Careful.
But he's getting red.
It's just the IP of a book, right? Like you get these open writers assignments every now and again, and it's just like somebody will take, I don't know, fucking Sonic, and I like that movie, but like
Not compared to this.
Not compared to this.
Yeah.
Like the way that you take things that have already existed and just really just go in on the feeling of it is incredible. Like it did not have any right being as good as it was.
No.
We're gonna
And
get
to
a big.
make so many. I was just piggybacking off what you said to say, like, to make such a strong visual choice was like it just added to the flavor of what now you think of the franchise, the book, the series.
It's the effort
so
of it all.
fucking relieved. I have been all this time waiting for Kelsey to be like, and I hated it.
You know, I even had like ran a little setup where I was going to be like, I have hated a lot of movies that Zach has forced me to watch.
That's fair. That's fair.
And I forget what it was. And then it was like, and this was fucking fantastic. This bear has the most soulful eyes. It's weird that he runs on two legs. But I swear to God, this was like watching the Three Stooges. This motherfucker was a fantastic window cleaner. Fuck the racist neighborhood defense fund guy. It's because he's a brown bear. This guy rides a horse, or excuse me, this guy rides a dog
like a
and
horse.
Yeah, dude,
goose.
incredible.
Both like horses.
Kelsey, I literally
like I
was
said,
like,
I've
I'm
never
like, we
had
just need to
so
get
many.
20 minutes out before Kelsey chimes in and ruins my life.
Yeah.
So I'm so sorry that I didn't
loved
trust you.
this movie.
Oh, thank God.
So
Thank God.
Yeah.
much. I was like
This
gonna
would have
text
been the last
you off
episode.
thread last night just to be like, thank God, finally Zach has given us two movies in this entire series of podcasting that we've done. This and Nicolas Cage Pig that are two of the most phenomenal movies I have ever seen in my life.
Pig fucks. You should see that movie.
I haven't seen Pig, but I will say the
But he
Nick
doesn't
Cage
fuck his
movie.
pig.
doesn't fuck
his pig.
They reference Paddington too because they know how good of a film.
Yeah,
it is.
in the unbearable weight of a
Weight of a
massive
Bear.
talent,
Yeah.
which
I haven't seen it yet.
is awesome. I was going to do it for this, but we had already done Nick Cage. It's so fun.
It's
and
so
they-
goddamn good, and
Yeah.
they reference how amazing Paddington 2 is, and it has no right
You
to
guys
be.
should check it out.
My
It's a great movie.
Sundance
It's a
mentor wrote
bit
that.
throughout cinema, and almost like people on Twitter were going out and saying, ironically, how much they love Paddington 2.
I was never ironic.
And then fully film Twitter was just like, no, this is actually just a phenomenal film.
No,
it's just a really good and well put together.
It blows
movie.
my mind. Like every key creative on this film, all just collectively decided, I'm gonna go unbelievably hard.
I'm gonna go hard
as fuck.
every fucking day. You're gonna see the effort that I put into
you
this.
guys remember
even
the
like
show?
the graphic, I'm sorry, even the graphics on Paddington himself. That is the most that's the
incredible.
most real
He's
I've
a
seen an
pleasure.
animatronic.
Paddington's adorable.
He's
It was the first
adorable.
time that I didn't notice a CGI'd fucking bear.
And
Animal.
he's the main character.
He's the main character, and not
You
once
see
did
him
I
the
go,
most.
"Ugh,
Right.
that looks." His eyes. I
His
was like,
eyes, he has soulful
He's
eyes.
soulful eyes.
soulful eyes.
When he was doing the hard stare, which is what just a full close up on a CGI bear. That is where you have that moment where you're just like, okay, this is obviously fake. I'm looking in this bear's eyes and I'm getting
Scared.
a little more.
Oh no,
Yes.
it's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
like
my
the visual
fucking
effects
God.
artists, the
Yeah.
cinematographers,
Yeah.
the writers,
The
the
set
director.
design.
Let's
They
give a
all-
shout
we
out
don't
to,
even- I mean,
to Paul King,
yeah.
who directed this movie. He
plays
Y'all
the-
remember the show Pushing Daisies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember
I was
that,
gonna say,
yeah.
if anyone liked Pushing Daisies and was pissed that ended,
Yeah.
watch Paddington
It's
2 and you'll
hilarious.
feel all better.
If you don't know, Paul King was a director on The Mighty Boosh, which is,
Mm-hmm.
if you've never seen the clip of Old Greg, and if I just like
I'm old
triggered
Greg.
triggered a memory that you forgot you had.
Like my downstairs mix up.
the guy who made Old Greg made this movie.
What?
It's incredible.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm Old Greg. Yeah.
Yeah, what you doing swimming in my water?
He was-
And Noel Fielding is now on Great British Bake Off. as a judge.
Holy.
So
Wait,
they've really gone.
Wait a minute. That's Old Greg?
That's old. Yeah. Well, no, he's the other guy. Anyway. I
okay.
think.
I needed a moment.
But
Who's
they're-
Old Greg? I gotta look this
They're
up. Carry
like
on.
they've gone from the Mighty Boosh to being like, we're actually just gonna make the most wholesome shit ever.
And I don't know why Paul King didn't sign on for the third. If you're
It's
listening to
heartbreaking.
this,
Paul,
King,
change your mind.
please.
Paul.
Why didn't he?
I'll start a fucking GoFundMe.
Honestly, I know why.
To just
He's
get
like,
you on
I
the third
made the
film.
greatest movie of all
I think
time.
so.
What more could he give?
Right.
Do you think he's scared? Do
Yeah.
you think he's going to Dark Knight Rises it, which is an okay film, by the way? I don't hate it like people do.
Wow.
I do.
But I think
think it had a
maybe
lot of
he
problems.
thought the pressure was just like, it was just
Had a lot
too
of
much. Like,
I
how do
think-
you top this?
Well, Heath Ledger died.
No, we're talking about Paddington.
I know, I know we're talking about Paddington, but even so, Heath Ledger passed. Christopher Nolan was like, I can't do this without them, and
Yeah.
then they threw so much money at him. He's like, all
you're
right,
gonna do
cool.
it.
No.
The cat guys can. Oh, okay. Just because I could see us just like talking big picture and running out of time, so I want to give flowers to what is just such an unexpected and phenomenal performance from Hugh Grant.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
He is. So he plays. Do you remember his name?
Phoenix Buchanan.
Thank you. Phoenix Buchanan, who is an actor.
Oh, that's
Yes.
bad.
with like the most actor. and-
Capital
Yeah.
T with a thespian. Dude.
Yeah. And so what you get to see is Hugh Grant in a bunch of different disguises, playing different roles. You have him up in his actor studio, like
It's so good.
inhabiting Macbeth.
It's a
or
secret room.
Hamlet. Yes.
It's an
Yeah,
attic.
dude.
It's a secret attic. Oh my god.
And then I wrote that down a line where she goes, oh, it's just going to be it's just a regular old man. Oh my God, he's a weirdo.
He's a weirdo.
No, he's
oh
crazy.
my god, he's a weirdo.
It
Yeah.
looks like where a weirdo lives. It looks like
Yeah.
he lives in the attic of inside the actor studio. Like
Yes.
James Lipton is doing the show downstairs.
Absolutely.
Okay, but
His
here's my like gripe with that character is you're doing national dog commercials, like the royalties on that, sir. You're doing just fine.
You're doing fine.
Yeah,
he wants to
that's
put
fair.
on a one-man show, so he needs this treasure because his roles have dried up. And the real thing is that he can only work alone. So, but you get to see him in this movie, Hugh Grant. One, just as Phoenix, he is so big
incredible.
and wonderful. And one of his first lines is, "I'm tickled the deepest shade of shrimp."
Yeah.
Which
Oh my
is
god.
so
The
like,
writing in this,
is
can
crazy. well, and let me just say, you get Hugh Grant as a nun, as a knight, as
Yeah.
as a beggar,
as a priest,
as a
as a
priest,
thief.
as a.
And I think that's kind of it.
That
But
covers
him
the
as a
gamut.
nun is like,
Yeah.
whoa.
And
The
the nun
king?
scene gets our guy. It gets our favorite funny security guard guy
yeah.
who is attracted to the.
okay.
The most dazzling woman I've ever seen.
Was that not Paul King? Was that not the director in it?
No,
No way.
He's a great. It's not.
Okay, the writing's so good. These are my 4 favorite lines, and then we can go
There was
back to
some
talking
kind of-
about Hugh Grant.
Yeah.
There's something
Okay.
special about that guy. I forgot what
My
it was.
4 favorite lines is, we opened up our hearts and doors to that bear. Well, you did. I kept mine triple locked in accordance with the guidelines. The second one is, how would you like to be in a gardening club? And he replies, how would you like to be buried in a very deep hole?
This is in the prison. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering if I could have a quick word about the food. And then the prison guard goes,
Oh, amazing.
He's
send
like,
the medic
call
to
the
the
medic.
canteen. And then the tag is, forget the medic, send a priest.
Yeah, it's so good.
And then my last favorite line was, don't shush me, Gertrude. I've been spilled upon by chilled liquid.
It's an incredible movie.
To shush.
I want you to. It has the
Gertrude.
best, most goofy, whimsical, funny, lighthearted writing. It
Yeah.
takes everything and puts flowers on it and sparkly glitter and
Yeah.
cake frosting.
But I think that like just getting to the core of why this movie fucking sings is the lack of internal conflicts.
Garrick and I were
Yeah.
texting about this last night.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
there is
Excuse
so
me?
like
we didn't know,
because we didn't know if
honestly,
you guys
I-
were cool
I
about it.
literally
I hate
texted-
it when they do this.
because I texted
They have
off-
side Ryan, listen to this. They have side conversations all the fucking time without me.
I
I'm
literally-
not in your fucking group chats. Blah. I am not in your fucking group chats.
You got him
Yes,
I'm
you
in
are.
one.
You got him
I'm in.
flustered.
I'm in one of them, and then everything else, I'm in none of them. Like
But there is no
you guys are
more.
like
We
we were
do
talking
You
have
are
about.
in
another
2
one.
of them, and don't you make me try and give you a hint about what the other one
You
is,
were
because
like-
you know which one I'm talking
You were like
about.
we're in a group chat. And I
Garrick
was
is
like,
not
it
part of the
one I'm
cutie
not in?
coochies, and
Okay.
it feels left
Listen,
out.
You don't wanna
folks,
be a part of
I
this
can-
group
I'm
chat.
not
I'm not in the one-
outside if you guys want to settle this, or
I'm not in the one talking about my own butt. You don't think I should be involved?
You are in that one.
You have a group chat dedicated
About
to
the
your
double
ass?
cheeked
It's
up.
called Cheeky Cheekers.
Yeah.
You have a butt cheek chat?
Have you looked at Garrick's ass before?
Yeah.
I haven't. I mean,
He
now it
has
feels.
got a
He's cheeked like Goofy.
dumpity
I'm
truck.
like goofy, double cheeked up.
He's goofed up.
You got a
Goofed
dump
up.
truck ass?
I got a
dude?
dump
Oh,
truck
wait till you
ass.
see it.
Is this fair to say that you're an absolute fucking unit?
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I literally
it's unfortunate.
texted Garrick. I said, I don't think Kelsey likes this, and I think this may be the end of our podcast.
It was so
Damn.
funny.
And then we
Post that for promo.
We were talking about it for a while, but yeah, like go
Yeah,
on
there's no internal conflict. Everything in every situation that Paddington gets thrown into, he finds a way out of it.
And he says it. He vocalizes it.
Yeah, vocalizes it through optimism. And he it's weird because he's the ultimate from the outside looking in on human conflict. Where it's just like, oh, you didn't get that job. Why would you care? You have this beautiful family, all of that stuff. Oh, you can't swim well. That's all right. You probably swim just as great as anybody else. Like that, those whole situations. Yeah.
But you have this character that has nothing wrong with him. It's the world that's wrong.
Is there anything wrong with Paddington?
No, there
No.
not It's literally just by being good and kind and pure, he's going to make the world a better place. And when I say that, that is very hard to pull off in a movie. That should be boring.
Actually, now that I think about it, really isn't too much wrong with him. He makes Ted Lasso look like a fucking murderer.
So I think that because they had Ted Lasso and they were just like, all right, what if we made Paddington a white man? And then they're just like, yeah, we can get an Emmy off of that.
There
and they
was
fucking
a lot of,
did.
the racism
It's
in
the
this movie.
same thing. It's the same character. It's just like,
true.
all right, you're going to be as mean as you can to me. And I think that's what the difference is that they are super mean to Ted Lasso.
They are.
I want to out this, and Garrick says that he said this a lot meaner last night. He goes, "It's perfect," and then Ted Lasso does it with a white man, and they go, "Emmy, suck my dick."
I did say, suck my dick.
And
But
Paddington did get nominated for a BAFTA, I suppose.
There you
It
go.
yeah,
did?
that's fair. But they didn't
They
win
deserve
it.
more.
No, they did. They should have gotten nominated for an Oscar.
It should have.
frankly. And I believe that.
For Best Picture.
What were the nominees that year? Could we look at the nominees? Does anyone have that
Miles,
information
what
handy?
were the nominees
for
that
Best
year?
Picture for that year?
It would have been 2018.
Oh, Shape of Water. So,
Oh, come on now. No.
You're
but
telling me.
but we
boy.
got.
Wait, wasn't the mom
The
in that
mom
the
is in
same
Shape
as
of
the
Water.
Shape of Water?
Yeah, she got an
You're right.
Oscar the same
You're right.
year.
You
I
know
get
who
to-
else has got a
I get to
sneaky
see
cameo in this?
Sally Hawkins
Big
be
year for Sally
a
Hawkins.
mom
Yeah.
to a cartoon bear and fuck a fish man. Sign me up. Cinema is
I
great.
was super happy for her because I was like, oh, good. I'm glad that the Paddington
Yeah.
mom,
Yeah.
Did y'all
Mrs.
watch
Brown.
Fleabag?
I love Fleabag.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, goofy guy with big teeth. He's
Yeah,
in this
he's in
movie.
this. Yeah.
I don't think he was in Shape of Water, though.
Has anybody watched?
Cameo.
Has anybody watched Stath Let's Flats?
What?
He is also in that. I know it's
Oh,
a
you
weird.
tried to get us to watch
yeah,
this.
I know it's a weird.
I love it. Shine
What
for the
is
goofy
it?
teeth
sentence.
Staff? Let's flex?
The guy's name is Stath, and he lets flats, so he rents out apartments.
Staff lets flats. That's the biggest fuck you to someone with a former lisp I've ever
Yeah,
heard.
it is. It is.
Wait.
But it's a super funny show.
I need to say something
But he's
about
in
the
it.
prison,
He's a star.
by the way.
Yeah, let's jump into the
Yeah.
prison.
The prison, first off, when I saw this movie in theaters, because,
Yeah, I also did. Also did.
as soon as first off, let's just talk about the fucking balls to incarcerate Paddington Bear
Yes.
as a writer.
Yeah.
I cannot believe they did that.
They were like, I bet I can get him out of this hole.
And the thing was, I actually, when I saw the movie, as soon as he got arrested, I was like, oh shit, are they just doing this so that we could feel bad for him and put him in like this situation? Like, I thought it was just going to be kind of like okay, let's get to the act 2 and then we'll
Right.
use that. But then I remembered, oh my God, of course they're putting Paddington in prison for a person, a bear that sees the best in everybody and believes in the best in everybody. Of course they would put him in a prison where people are meant to be reformed and he's going to do it.
Right.
Yeah,
And-
but you want to talk about the corruption? Let's talk about when you get the judge that you're the barber of. Is that not a conflict of
And then him
fucking
being
interest?
upset still about his fucking haircut.
And,
now
if
he
he
has
was a
to
white
pass
bear,
judgment.
he would have been acquitted.
That's if he was a polar bear. If he was a polar bear, he would have been fine
10
with it.
fucking years for that.
Yeah, but because he's a brown bear,
10
now he has
years
to go
a
to
white
prison.
bear.
Now he has to go to fucking
Yeah.
prison.
No, if you're a
because
polar,
he's
if you're
because he's not from here.
Yeah.
Right.
well, if you're a polar
Exactly.
bear, you get a gig at Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
But,
you do.
There you go.
Exactly.
I will say, speaking of that trial scene, really love seeing Richard Ayoade.
Oh my God.
Richard Ayoade in that scene.
There was
From the IT
footprints
crowd.
here, here, and here.
All over
And
here.
the marmalade was here.
It's so good.
So good.
I love that guy.
His timing is brilliant.
Director of Submarine, wildly underrated.
Who wrote
Oh my
this?
God.
We'll go
Was
look
it Paul King and somebody else?
Because whoever did, like, the way I see it is there's no way one person wrote a script this
No,
good.
it was
must
two
have
people.
been through 10, 15 punch-ups where every person got a line and was like, punch up your line.
Oh,
Because
well, that's
every
how-
There you go.
line
Okay.
is
That's how
so
movies are.
The
funny.
other writer, Simon Farnaby, is our boy, the security guard.
Yeah, he's a writer. He's a
That
writer.
makes sense now.
That's what it was.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
Excellent performance.
But
There you go.
going back to the prison.
Yes.
As we it really does show a scene that I feel like Wes Anderson came to.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Aunt Lucy, for even saying that. But the scene where they all pop up and they introduce themselves to the Browns
Yeah.
is so fucking good.
That's great.
Where they all have their own little quips that explains what their personality is. I can't rattle them off at all because I really do forget. I was just enjoying myself. But I know it ends with Rumble just
Yes.
making another grunt. And it's just so good. And then you get the other scene.
Hello. Hi.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Right.
It's so good.
It's so
In
good.
one take.
In
It's
one
also,
take. Really
well blocked
Yeah.
and shot.
They
and then-
all get
get a
their
moment.
face and they all get their
Yep.
moment and all that stuff. And then Mr. Brown turns off the light and just
Instead of
starts
the mic.
talking shit. And
starts talking shit about
The
the, biggest
microphone's
one.
over there.
Yeah.
We can still hear you, Mr. Brown.
He goes, that one, the microphone's over there. It's got the word microphone. written on it.
you just turned off the light.
Yeah, he adds that you just turned off the light.
It's so good.
Can we give a moment to Brendan Gleeson as
I was
Knuckles
just about to say
McGinty?
Yeah.
Knuckles McGinty.
Mad-Eye Moody.
Mad-Eye Moody.
That character is, the fact that you could see someone who's, I guess the exterior is such the veneer of a hardened criminal.
Yeah.
Grizzly.
And everyone's scared of him in this prison, and he actually seems to be scared of himself. There's a moment that I don't know if people.
Yep.
It actually brings me to tears when I think about it. When I saw it last night, because I just rewatched this, because I got an excuse to watch Paddington too.
Yeah.
The moment where he mentions his dad.
No, well, yeah. So he talks about how he doesn't want to see the reaction of all the prisoners because he can't stand the fact that people won't like something that he cares about because that's what his dad said. His dad said, "You'll never be anything."
My dad's right. I am good at nothing.
Exactly. And he does this thing where he knocks the trays and one of the trays falls off and it hits the ground and he flinches like this. And that little moment where he flinches just shows
His dad used to hit
dad was
him.
he's just a scared little boy.
Yeah.
That's all he is.
That was abusive.
Because that's how you
Hurt
see
people,
if a
hurt
dog used
people.
to get hit.
And he's a scared little boy.
He's
Yeah.
a scared. Ryan often say the exact same
And when
words.
that happened, the first time I saw it, I immediately started crying. And the second time, and it was just it's such a fucking dark thing to put in a kids movie.
But also,
It
talk
felt
about
improv,
giving
didn't
depth.
it?
It did
to
feel
that
improv.
character.
But that's all you need.
Great actor
Yeah.
who's going so hard in this movie in
Right.
a way that you don't need to.
That-
Which
That's
is
incredible.
why when it comes back around where they plan an escape from the jail to clear Paddington's name and they do this amazing escape sequence
so
that's
good.
just from a mousetrap movie.
Oh, it's great.
You get to the part where you're they're about to walk out of the gate and then you find out that his buddies are betraying him, that they're going to leave the country and they're like, you're coming with us. And he's like, no, I want to stay and clear my name. That is when I teared up. That's when I threw my pillow across the couch and I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, it's crazy.
That you did this after everything he's done, you made them betray him. They haven't seen enough good in the world, but it was a test because it really was to show, yes, you've let Paddington in to see the good in you, but you still fear others. Even though you no longer fear yourself, you still feel others, which is why you have an anxious avoidant attachment style. And then to have them come full fucking circle, if we're going there, all the way around at the end when Paddington's about to drown, which made me Google last night at 10 p.m. How long can bears hold their breath?
Yeah, dude. It's a really long time. It's a really long time.
This movie pulls a Toy Story 3 where
Yeah.
Paddington is in a train car.
It's crazy.
Underwater,
Yeah.
drowning. Mrs. Brown is trying to get him out.
And he's
they
just
look
like-
eye to eye. And Paddington puts his hand on hers.
Oh God,
And
dude.
he accepts death.
Death.
He says, Mrs. Brown,
As
you
a
tried
bear.
with his
This guy.
eyes. He goes,
A
you
teddy
tried your
bear.
best, and
Let
it's
me
time
go."
for me to go.
Dude, there are some dark themes in this movie.
Yeah.
The fact too that they kill him by drowning him. That is like
Right.
one
Yeah.
of, if
That's
you've
one
watched
of
The
the worst
Prestige,
ways.
you know that's one of the worst ways to die.
Yes.
It was
Talk
agony.
about Hugh, whatever his name is.
But then,
But then you
Hugh Jackman.
hear a plane come over, and about 3 seconds later, which is very fast for them to
Yeah,
jump out of a plane
Well,
into water.
it was in a water plane,
oh,
so they can land
still
on water.
very quickly.
Good to
They
know.
landed.
Land on water, jump out.
Okay.
Indiana
It
Jones
was
does
like
it.
Garrick says, how
40
dare you? This is
feet.
flawless.
This is very flawless.
Very
There are no
deep.
flaws.
No, Indiana Jones does.
Kelsey,
Hugh
you're receiving
Three-
a stern stare, and this is your
Yes.
warning.
Okay. This is
Yeah.
my warning. His three prison mates, his buddies,
Yeah.
jumped from their plane that they were taking out to the country to come save Paddington, and they pulled the train door lock open and burst forth with Paddington and save him.
Ryan and Garrick are adamant that the logic of that
The
scene
logic
sound.
is so flawless. There's no logic holes at all. I couldn't find a plot hole even if I tried.
I want to give some more Knuckles moments. Even there's so much, but
He's so
when
good in
he
this movie.
discovers that when they're making marmalade, they have this montage, and he's like, I got these two goofy, clumsy hands, and he
Yeah.
realizes that they're good for squeezing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the look on his face when he squeezes oranges is so fucking cute.
Yeah.
and
It's
he
great.
goes, I have a strange warm tickling in my tum tum.
like even
It's
even-
called Pride.
Wait
Even
till
that
you
scene-
grab a boob, man.
Yeah, he'll love it.
Not
And she'll
the way
hate
he's
it.
grabbing those oranges.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, he'd rip them to shreds.
Yeah, that'd
pop
be
them.
cheese
But,
grate those boobs.
The scene where you see the tattoos on his hands,
Oh, so
Knuckles
and you
with an
realize that it's not Knuckles plural. It is Knuckle.
Knuckle.
Like his name is Knuckle, and he owns Knuckles. He's
oh
in
my god, I
ownership.
never noticed that.
Yeah, it has an apostrophe.
That's like the
And
hands
that-
are registered weapons.
It's
kind of
Oh,
thing.
wow. that's great. I
It's
didn't
such a
connect
good
that.
little
And then he
bit.
put him on the wrong hands.
Yeah, and he has to cross his hands. But that whole sequence is so funny where he gets ketchup. Paddington gets ketchup on Knuckles, and he's slowly rubbing it. He's like, "Oh, hold on." And then you know what gets that out? Some mustard. And then he scorches like, "Oh, why no?
that's not right.
That seems to have just made it worse."
Yeah.
He's just slowly rubbing it.
So there, I think this also speaks to the whimsy of Paddington himself, is that he's so accidentally good at things.
Yeah.
Like the window washing, where he
Yeah.
fucks up and he's just like, wait a minute, I'm a good sponge, and he
Yeah,
just
yeah.
cleans everything so spotless with the mustard and ketchup. He's accidentally making friends. Obviously, it's just it's so fucking beautiful. There's so many fucking beautiful moments in the movie.
Yeah, this would be a really good test, all the ladies out there, to like show your significant other this. If they don't cry or don't like it, they're a fucking psychopath.
psychopath.
And
If
leave
your
them
man don't
immediately.
fuck with Paddington, then you don't fuck with him.
I mean, if you don't
Exactly.
fuck with Paddington in general, you're just not a human being.
Yeah.
if you're listening to this and you don't adore it with all your heart, I want you to die.
Oh my god.
Well, the weird part about it is when I've never had somebody tell me that they don't like this film. But
I have.
that's crazy.
Yeah, I have my oldest friend, my sink.
Former friend,
No, it's my cousin. So
Okay,
we
former
can't be
cousin?
former cousin.
Former cousin.
yeah,
Because you
it's
buried him.
former living.
super close. Sink baths, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Sink bath cousin.
Yeah.
He said he didn't like it at all, and I haven't trusted his opinion on anything.
Yeah, nor should you.
You know what's
past
weird
that.
is normally when someone disagrees with me on a movie I feel very strongly about, there's like a fire that starts in my belly and I want to argue with them. But for this,
It's a pity.
I just feel sorry for them.
I feel
a sad-
I
bad.
legitimately feel I'm not even being
Because
pissed.
you're
bad
like,
'cause I
how
don't know-
numb are you? Like,
How
how
numb are
out
you?
of touch with your emotions?
But
are you?
I'm also I am not sure what you're looking for.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying. You're lost. You're lost in the world, bro.
I genuinely don't
What could ever reach you?
reach you at all, because if it's
This gives you
If it's
everything.
not this.
yeah, and
This
if
gives
it-
you comedy. It gives you heart.
Yeah.
This helps you see the world in a better way.
yeah.
Okay, wait. Can I give one guilt? After we just said that, I know.
Miles,
curious.
Miles, just mute it.
Wait,
Okay.
wait, don't.
Put it-
no.
Hover your finger
Okay,
over the thing like Dr. Evil.
I would love to hear
But
it.
it might be because I haven't seen the first one.
Yeah.
I am excited to prove you wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
The kids
Mm.
did nothing for me.
You know, Yeah, I mean, with the first one, they really
They have,
set up
like,
that
a bigger part.
relationship.
They have a bigger part in the movie.
They are fine in this.
Yeah.
I like, especially like Jonathan. He has a fun little payoff.
J-Dog.
J-Dog.
Where he's embarrassed of his love for steam engine trains. If only he grew up with TikTok, he would know that steam engine trains are very hot
cool.
right now.
Yeah.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh
They're-
man,
yeah,
are you
yeah.
not on the talk?
I'm not
I
as
will-
much on the talk, honestly, but I love
You
a
gotta
good
get on the
choo-choo.
clock app. With the daughter, she like starts a feminist newspaper, which is funny, but like they do nothing. They don't exist.
They
They don't
for-
have as much a place in this
Yeah.
film, but I'm
Yeah.
okay with it.
They're
I
huge in the
find
first.
one.
They're huge
They're big in the
first.
first. They
Yeah.
don't
like the
him, right?
grandma
Or,
was
like,
really
they feel
funny.
like
I thought they could have
they-
combined all the characters into one.
Basically, the first movie is about how this family is very dysfunctional. They're not seeing each other as people.
Yeah.
And Paddington comes in and, of course, heals the whole family, helps them see each other clearly, but also helps them see themselves clearly. And each of these kids kind of grow exponentially when
I
they're
think
around
what you're
him.
seeing is that they're already solved as characters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
because
you're
you know
like,
how I know it's not that great? I couldn't tell you what they look like.
that's fun.
The
Well, they're
dad's
also
so
barely in
unique
it.
looking.
They're
the
barely in
mom's
it.
so kooky looking. The
They're also
grandma.
British children, and British
Yeah.
Who's
children.
the grandma? She's famous.
I forget. but
Isn't
she
that
is.
Dame Judi Dench or some shit?
No, that's definitely not Dame Judi Dench. She's
Looks
actually
like
also
her.
in Harry Potter. Once again,
She
going back.
is?
Yeah, she's the.
British people.
Who?
Oh my God, who is she in that film?
I'll figure this out. Oh yeah, she's Mrs. Weasley.
That's what I
Okay.
thought.
She
Okay.
looked hella old. They aged her the fuck up in this.
Yeah.
Molly Weasley
She's
is a young
fine
woman.
as hell in real life. Look at her. She killing it.
I just want to touch on how just loosely in this I want to say like in the first 15 minutes of the movie they really do set up all of like the family's quirks.
Everything.
They
And
do.
they
They
all
just-
pay off.
They all pay off. There's little throwaway lines, just like, "Oh yeah, I'm going through a midlife crisis. Oh yeah, I'm training for she was training for a triathlon.
She was training for like a thing.
To
Yeah.
swing the
This,
English Channel.
Just swim the English Channel.
And they're all jokes.
Yeah, they're all just bits.
you're watching and you're going, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Oh, he's doing yoga. It's
Yeah.
not going well.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
sucks. The kids is like, I put my steam train away. I don't remember what they set up for the daughter, but it all comes back into play.
And every single thing that you listed is part of how they save the day.
How they save
you
the day.
have the dad who can't do
That's
yoga in the
true.
beginning,
Wow.
does a full split in between
Yep.
two trains.
Yeah.
And it's like, and each one is a laugh because
Yeah.
they've been set up.
Yeah.
You have Bullseye Brown set up, and of
Oh,
course
great.
he
Yep.
brings the, you know,
Yeah.
even Judy, she has her feminist newspaper, which they set up in the beginning. She then uses the flash of her camera
Yeah,
to
to-
stun
yeah.
Heath Ledger. I'm sorry.
Was it
Ah,
to
Hugh Grant.
stun
Hugh
him?
Grant.
to distract him and take a picture
And
of
to
him
get
with
the
a
proof.
book.
Yeah, I thought it was just take a picture.
Yeah,
Well,
but
he
he
makes
was
me
like,
go
You
like,
get
whoa.
stunned?
Well, it makes me go like, whoa, and then he throws the ball at him.
Yeah.
and
By
knocks
the
him
way,
out.
speaking of Molly Weasley, I never realized that in this movie she's a straight up murderer because Hugh Grant, Phoenix Buchanan's being held at gunpoint by her, and he's like, "Those are just darts."
I thought about this.
Oh yeah.
And she shoots him in the head.
Yes.
And she goes, "So they are." And I was like, "Wait, so you thought there was a chance there were bullets, and you were like, I'm gonna blow this guy's head off?"
his head off.
Motherfucker, blow his brains
I would
out.
love to see Paddington respond to that.
Yeah. I'm so glad you brought that up.
He'd be trying to put his head back together, probably.
Yeah, very
like
different movie.
Jackie
Oh,
Kennedy.
well, that seems to have made it worse.
Yeah.
Well, it seems that there's entrails everywhere now.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if we puppet him like this.
Yeah.
That would be dark Paddington. That's like that new Winnie the Pooh movie that's coming out.
I think
Oh,
something that
can't wait.
really does set this apart too, because this is a children's film.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you look at like the Peter Rabbits of the world,
Yeah.
and even a lot of children's movies that I love, they rely on really cheap humor and then really like topical humor for the parents, and they
Yeah,
have them like, you'll have the Smurfs singing "Baby Got Back," and you're like, oh, fucking blow my brains out. But like this is just shenanigans.
Yes.
It's evergreen. It will
It's
always be
Stooges.
funny.
It's
Three Stooges.
physical comedy.
You have this scene of like him trying to be a barber, and like he's like going
The funniest
around, and he
scene.
like
And you again back to how everything pays off. You think that this is just a random person that he's cutting their hair. He turns out to be the fucking judge, and you're just like, oh god. And
He's
he-
there at the end of the movie too.
And
Yep,
at the end
and
of the
then at the
movie,
end.
the middle of the movie, him seeing him across and then waving at him from the other train is so fucking funny.
It's incredible.
Oh my god.
The movie also explores, like, in a way that kid movies don't, and frankly, like just adult movies don't. They explore some really dark themes.
Yeah.
and beautiful themes.
Because, like, well, Paddington, obviously, like, the simple thing is, like, okay, you look at the prison system through the lens of Paddington. Of course, he's going to reform everybody there. That's kind of like, okay, I figured that out.
Not just reform everyone there, reform the system itself. I'm not joking with what I said earlier.
yeah.
No.
He turns it into a community.
Yeah.
But then
Helps
it
them get
also
jobs.
briefly explores the theme of just life moves on. Like when they're like, oh, they're going to forget you. It happens. Don't fall for it.
Yeah.
And when
Death?
he thinks they forgot him,
Beautiful
Uncle
shot.
Bozozu.
and he's like crying in his bed.
Yeah.
That scene is
fucked
so
me up.
dark.
His
Yeah.
tears turn the floor into
But
Peru.
only this movie would have his tears make flowers blossom from the ground.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just because, like, it's a beautiful film.
Yeah.
This one's for the boys.
Okay.
Paddington's for the fucking boys.
But like the main
Sorry, guys.
the main message of Paddington is just how kindness makes the world better, right? Like
It
you
does.
and you do see that in real action. Like in the opening montage, Paddington like has breakfast for the woman, helps the guy not get locked out. Like, and then you see the world without Paddington, and it's like, oh, the world is a dark place.
Right. It's literally darker.
Yeah, the
it's
colors,
gray.
Yep.
Yeah,
but
that's
then there's
true.
also little good lessons throughout, and one that I loved is they're talking about Hugh Grant, and they go, actors are some of the most evil, devious people on the planet. They lie for a living.
And they a slow zoom in on Molly Weasley.
Yeah, who is an actor, which is fine. But what I love about that is that, like, you are telling children in a children's movie, hey, this really glamorous thing that for decades has been the number one most desired job.
Yeah.
Be something that actually helps the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and that's even that, which is a small little joke.
Yeah.
Is like, yes, that is what children need to hear.
Yeah.
Do not want to grow up wanting to be a YouTuber. It is do something good.
They show people bicycling to work.
Oh.
They show the garbage man getting his degree.
Uh-huh.
That's true.
They just show a way of living that is like healthier, more hopeful.
It's just about people bettering themselves.
no, I mean, you really just nailed it right
Yeah.
there, because I was just going to ask, is this the best movie of all time? Maybe not. Is it my favorite movie? It's possible, but
yeah.
I will say more so than anything, I have never seen a movie that made me want to be a better person more than this movie.
Yeah.
And
I
that
could
makes it the
confidently say
most
that.
important movie.
It does. It really.
It really did make me go, I'm going to be fucking nicer to people.
Yeah.
And I
Me
went for a
too.
walk
Yeah.
with my dog, and had a smile on my face. I talked to like 6 people at the cake shop.
Yeah.
I went and got cake because that fucking scene had me fucked up with the treats. It looked delicious in jail.
Oh, it did look good.
And I was genuinely nicer to people because of this.
Because again, as you zoom out and you see things through Paddington's eyes, the outside looking in, and you see how crazy a lot of the issues are from your like day-to-day life, and how they could so easily be solved with positivity, you start to be more positive in your world or whatever.
Not a
Like
single
it
cell
just,
phone in this film.
Can I say it?
of course not.
This film was released as Trump had taken office.
Yeah.
And it just is such an antidote to that dark era in human history.
Yeah.
You know, you have like the re-rise of xenophobia, and here's this little bear across the pond saying, actually, being kind is good.
Yeah.
And opening your home up to
When's
others
the third
is
one
good.
coming? We fucking need it.
It's coming.
I'm scared.
It's.
When's it coming? Should we
It's-
all see it together?
I will tell you. Do you know the title? Do you know what it is?
No.
It's. I don't know the actual title, but it
Oh my
takes.
God, Ryan's
it's
face
about
just
Peru.
dropped.
It's him in Peru.
I think they're going to Peru.
Oh, interesting. I really want a Paddington Christmas film. I talk to Shane about this all the time.
Yeah.
Shane
That
and
would
I
be
talk about
too.
Paddington
That
quite
would be
often.
too cheerful. I think.
So
It'd be like
I
that
think
Ted Lasso Christmas episodes. Too much.
Yeah.
It was.
I
Or
think
maybe
Christmas
just seeing
is
like a
too-
scene. Like a scene.
A
of
scene would be
Christmas.
nice. I'd be
Yeah.
into that. Only for the
You
swag we
just
could
want
get.
a reason to have swaggy Christmas Paddington stuff.
That's not completely wrong.
We need to get you some Christmas Paddington pajamas.
I'm sad
with
I
a
didn't
butt
wear my
flap and
Paddington
all.
shirt. I actually have a Paddington shirt,
Why
and
didn't you
as I
wear
was
it?
driving over here, I was like, "Fuck! I forgot to put that damn
You
shirt
fool.
on. Fuck! I forgot to put my Paddington shirt on. I got to turn around."
If you were late for that reason, I think we would.
We would have accepted it. Yeah, we would have been
been
super down. Little things I wrote in my notes. They have the climax of them fighting on top of a train, and I said, "Mission Impossible climax." Who Tom Cruise could never.
Yeah.
And
Second
then,
best train fight other than Doc Ock versus Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
that train scene does kick major ass.
I will say there the 007 one where
Also
he
dope.
fucking uses a bulldozer to open up the back of a train,
That's actually pretty good too.
jumps off of the bulldozer,
Fast and-
fixes his fucking suit, and then begins to beat ass.
Or knock your best friend around a lake and get sued for $10 million. Am I right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Bulldozer.
Fast and Furious.
Count it back.
Fast,
Oh yeah, I was like, what are you talking? I don't remember that in 007.
Fast and Furious 5. They
trying to remember how that
drive
shit
cars
works.
off a train and then jump off a cliff.
That's pretty
honestly
sick.
what I'm learning is put trains in more movies.
in more movies.
Is this a top 3 train fight scene of all time?
Ooh.
I'm gonna say by default for being in this film,
It's
yes.
number one.
Pretty good. In terms of all the payoffs that are set up earlier
Yeah.
in the film.
Oh my God.
It carries the
Yeah.
most character and emotional weight.
Yeah, 100%.
I have a pleasure and a question.
Great.
Pleasure, his little fucking growl that he does throughout the film. And I don't even know if you guys notice this because it's so subtle. But when anything good happens or someone praises him or he realizes he's on the right path, he does this little tiny bear growl that's like,
It's so good.
I mean, you're giving points to Ben Whishaw, who does
so good.
an
Oh my God.
incredible,
Is that the voice?
incredible job.
He also
He's
helps
in
007
007
build gadgets.
Yeah.
wow, we're doing full circles of left and right. Okay, and then my
Again,
question,
there are only 10 British actors.
and I don't know if I missed this somewhere. So forgive me if I'm asking a question that was answered, but how did Hugh, what's his name?
Hugh Grant.
Jackman?
Grant.
Hugh Grant.
Is there a Hugh Jackman?
There is
Yeah.
a
There
Hugh
is. That's
Jackman. Are you?
Wolverine.
It's Wolverine.
He's like one
P.T.
of the most
Barnum.
famous people on the planet.
Which one's which?
Oh God.
All right, so never mind. How did he know about the little ladies pointing to letters in the clues
His
in the book?
grandfather was the magician that killed the trapeze artist.
But how did he know that?
I think it's just like a passed
grandfather
down
told him.
secret. Yeah.
They didn't say it because I was listening.
I think they kind of lightly
They had a
glanced
moment,
over
and
it.
They kind
Yeah.
of set it up in that montage.
I don't think either of you know a moment, which is why you're just
No,
going,
they-
it's fine.
no,
I
they-
think I might have found a fucking plot hole,
No,
bitches.
they set it up in that montage,
Yeah.
and they're talking about why the book is locked up in that chest and everything.
But why the little ladies pointing to letters? How did he know?
Because they were trapeze artists.
Yeah, this is set up by what's his face, Slughorn.
Yeah.
Kelsey's trying. You're digging.
Yeah.
You're digging.
It's perfect. It's perfect.
I don't have anything more to say about Hugh Grant. I don't know that we've spoken enough about how great he is. There is
fantastic.
one moment, and all of his style in the movie, like his costuming,
Oh,
is
yeah.
electric. And
They
there's,
make him unlikable, which is insane.
but there's one moment where he's
barely unlikable.
Yeah.
I
He's
love
just
him in it.
just off of the fact that he's the antagonist is what makes him quote unquote unlikable, but you still like him enough. He's like he's the
I was like,
Thanos
this
of
asshole.
children's movies.
He's
It's
great.
like yeah,
There's
makes
this
sense.
one moment that kills me where he's running out the house. He catches his reflection and realizes he doesn't have a kerchief on his
Yeah.
neck and goes, oh, and he looks both ways and goes, oh, I must go back.
Yeah.
So it's just a
But
perfect performance.
In that moment, I was just like, yeah, but you look great, man.
You look so
You could
good.
still go have that Broadway meeting.
And, you know, while we're talking about Hugh Grant, nice buns.
Good buns.
Nice bun.
You guys are big on the buns. I gotta start looking at more asses.
Oh, no,
Really
that's a quote
great
in the movie.
buns.
But yeah, you should look at more asses.
That was the one time the kids were in it.
Remember Paddington? You're a bin. You're a bin. You're a bin.
You're a bin. You're a trash
Nothing
bin.
to see, officer. Just a bit. Here's another great thing about this movie is that cops are bitches in it.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
this dumbass cop, and like, yeah, that is the way to show cops in
Yeah.
film. Way to go,
Yeah.
Paddington. Way
Yeah.
to not fall into the trap of making
Yeah.
cops try and save the day and
Yeah.
no, cops just come to write a report
Yeah.
and save their own ass.
There you go.
They're reactionary. They're not trying to stop anything.
Damn.
Oh, here it is. I found it. this interview where he talks. First off, he says Paddington 2 is the best movie he's ever been in, and then
Yeah.
he calls it a masterpiece.
Wait,
He's
who are you
correct.
talking about? Hugh
Hugh
Grant?
Grant.
Or was this Hugh Jackman said that?
No, Hugh
No,
Grant.
Hugh-
Yeah, Hugh Grant. No, we're mixing our Hughes up again.
Hugh?
Very good. That's good. Here's the quote. I set up a special screening for them, his kids, that takes a whole cinema. I have hundreds of children. I get them in there and they pretty much hated it. They kept whispering to me, why are you in it so much? It cracks me up so much.
I also just love the idea of you, whichever one, saying, I've got 100 children and
Yeah, he was like, I'm gonna be the super dad. They're gonna love it. And their only review is like, why are you in this film so much?
Yeah.
funny. Kids
Which
will
just-
humble the shit out
Kids
of you.
will humble their parents. I always love
Oh
a
my
good
God.
humbling of a parent.
Yeah.
By
It's
a
like
kid.
it's like
famous
The Rock
actor.
in Moana, where he was watching it with his daughter and he started singing "You're Welcome," and she was like, "Stop, Dad! You're ruining the movie." So good.
They need it.
good.
I think kids are put on the planet just to, take a little bit off a parent's ego.
Yeah.
And I
Yo,
think
if
we
you
need it.
need
We're
the
better for
best laughable Instagram account of all time, follow Nori's Little Black Book, and it's a woman who has taken on the persona of North, Kim and Kanye's daughter.
Oh, that's incredible.
And it is so funny. She calls it's just so good. She drags them all to filth. And now I see North as Nori's Little Black Book. Like she calls the Malikas, like she's like the help, the Malikas. And like she's like Dream is like a plant to try and make them more relatable. The baby Dream. You just got to follow it. Nori's Black Book. That's my plug this week.
Have you ever watched the film Paddington and said, Phoenix Buchanan? Paddington? Kind of wish those two would fuck. Well, you can see it because there is a HBO show movie called A Very English Scandal in which Ben Whishaw, the voice of Paddington, and Hugh Grant, they kiss.
Oh, they kiss?
Oh, okay. Not in character. Okay, I was about to.
It's just like
I was about to write a strong
but the
reworded
actors,
letter.
they play lovers.
Oh, I like that.
They play lovers.
I like that.
That's cool.
Ben Wishaw's character is also gay in 007.
Is
correct?
he gay?
Okay, did you guys know this got some big news? President Volodymyr Zelensky
I thought you were
of
gonna say
the
Voldemort.
and-
He has been in a civil partnership with a composer since 2012, so yes.
all right.
Cool.
President Zelensky of Ukraine was the voice of Paddington in
Yep.
Ukraine.
That's
Yep,
sick.
he is.
What?
Yeah,
That
it's
is
crazy.
sick.
Why
Zelen-
did they revoice him?
So
with the
foreign
dub.
dubs.
The dubbed.
And
But
the
why
dub.
the president?
Zelensky was a big actor before he was president.
Yeah, he's like their Ronald Reagan.
Like I thought he was the. Do not say he's like Ronald Reagan. Don't
Well,
you fucking dare.
Their version in
Don't
terms
you
of an
fucking
actor.
dare.
In terms
Got
of
it.
an
Don't
actor.
you fucking
Look, he
compare.
didn't do crazy shit like
Guys,
Reagan
we've
was
been
getting
talking
up
about
to.
Paddington.
I
Can
was
we
just
keep
saying
it
that they were
happy?
both
We
actors.
just talked about crack for an entire episode.
Yeah, he did
And
not
you're
do
gonna
the
bring up
war on
Ronald
drugs.
Reagan.
Do
Yeah.
not compare.
Okay, who's
one of
another
the-
actor who's
the
a president?
dopest fucking
Garrick, what's
badass
up with
people
you? Are you getting
to
dinner after?
that
there-
dipwad of a president.
Is there actually another U.S. president that was an actor?
Trump.
He's not really.
Technically.
He's not really an actor. I think it's just him. It is just him,
Yeah,
right?
it's just him.
That's crazy.
Um,
Because there's a Back to the Future joke.
well, I had more fun facts, but they're not great, and we talked about bear dicks for a long time, so I
that
think
was-
that's great.
That's a fun fact.
Guys, now is the time where I'm not even gonna ask you.
don't even-
But this we
don't
would
even
normally say, is this
offend
movie a
us.
pleasure or guilty pleasure? Just plain guilty. This is the most pleasure, but I want us all to take a moment, if we can, and really Ryan, you to give you the floor for why people should watch this film.
Oh my God. It's so hard to summarize it. I don't know if I can. Honestly, if you are a fan of cinema, if you're a fan of great storytelling and characters that you actually care about, and a movie that can make you laugh, cry, and be thrilled all at the same time, it's basically, this movie is cinema.
Yeah.
I think it's cinema in its purest form. It has some of the best technicians and storytellers at their craft working together with a unified vision, which is crazy. You never see so many people that are talented commit to like a unified vision like they do in this movie. And it's just a fucking delightful film that'll make you want to be a better person. And it'll make you feel better about life. And I think everybody needs a little bit of that nowadays. So,
God damn.
yeah.
Goddamn. I believe that the best movies, they make you believe in magic. And I don't mean magic in a, hocus pocus way, but in that feeling inside of you where you see something, you yearn for something beyond, bigger. And this is that. This is the movie that will take you on a journey that will make your heart swell and grow. And I've shown it to, like, my sister fucking hates movies. She just doesn't like watching movies. She's obsessed with this movie.
Speaking of sisters, my sister Megan, who's a huge fan of this podcast, by the way.
Shout out, Megan.
I texted her last night or this morning, and I said, "Have you seen Paddington 2? Skip the first one, even though I haven't even seen it." I said, "This movie made me cry multiple times." This was also a shared with my sister recommendation. Bringing families together.
It brings the world together.
It does bring the world together.
More people need to,
I believe
peace.
if everyone watched Paddington, I genuinely believe the world would be a much better
Yeah,
place.
Yes.
it could solve world conflict in general.
Yeah.
No, it would be great.
Yeah,
It's
it could
wholesome
bring in-
without being corny somehow.
You
Yeah.
get a Republican and a Democrat to watch Paddington in a theater together with like no cameras, no press, and I bet you they'd walk out friends.
That's like they always like try and send like Republicans and like like the fucking vile people like copies of On Tyranny by Tim Snyder. It's like, no, just send them Paddington too. And then they'll be like, Ted Cruz is going to be like, I was wrong.
No, you screen this bad boy in Congress, they'll be hacking through bills like nobody's business, baby.
Oh my God.
They'll have all our problems solved by lunch.
This movie made me forget about the abortion ban for
Yep.
Yeah.
2 hours last night.
And
then now you just brought me back to reality.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yeah, the world is a terrible place. But I just on the no, anyway.
It's like, it's a guilty pleasure, and here's why.
No. So you're watching a plus one to everything that everybody is saying. It's a pleasure because as you're watching this entire movie, you're just like, man, if we can just get him to get this book, everything will be fantastic. We just need to get this book. That is the
He's just trying
MacGuffin.
to do something
He's just
nice
trying to
for
do
Aunt
something
Lucy.
nice for Aunt Lucy.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have a bad
All the
relationship with
while,
your parents, watch this movie.
All the while, the movie is doing this underlying misdirect of what the actual gift is.
Yeah.
Because at the end, when Aunt Lucy shows up at the door, I sob. I am in complete disarray. I am crying my eyes out. And even in that beautiful moment where the gift isn't for Aunt Lucy, it is for himself.
It is.
Instead of being like, I'm so happy to see you, he hugs her and says, happy birthday, Aunt Lucy.
It's so good. It kills me every time.
Every fucking, even thinking about it, I'm losing my mind.
He says it so softly too.
And
it just ends.
And you know what that
it's
feels
fucking
like.
credits.
But then the best post-credit sequence.
of course.
They pay off everything.
More comedy, more closure.
It's like at the end of a fucking documentary.
Maybe
where
my
they put the
only
text
guilt
up.
of this entire film is that you don't have Hugh Grant's dance number full screen because it's accompanied by credits.
Yeah.
You have
No, I think it goes full screen for a little bit.
it maybe does.
I think in theaters it's full screen or something like that. I remember it being a lot bigger than it actually was showed up.
bigger.
I know, but like I'm saying, I feel like they put
Garrick is manifesting in his realm that
they
happened.
split the screen.
No, they
split the giant screen.
It goes
and then
full
it,
screen at some point. It starts small, picture
I think it's
picture.
just that enigmatic that you remember it that way. But anyway, Hugh Grant has a wonderful dance number where he's finally learned how to perform alongside other people. It's just wonderful.
To a captive
in the
audience.
prison.
It's so good.
He dances with the prison. It's
a
great.
captive audience.
That's
so
what he
good.
says. That's the joke
It's
he
so
makes.
good.
Oh.
Ryan, you are working on finally Ghost Files is coming out in September. Tell us about it, bud.
Oh man, I was not prepared for this. Yeah, we have a new
Or
show.
anything else you want to talk about, but that's the one.
I mean,
That's-
You're getting married, yay.
Getting married. I was going to say stay tuned for that, but that's not something you're going to be tuning into. We're going to live stream our wedding.
Stay tuned for that just in your life.
Yeah. No, Ghost Files is coming in September. We've worked really hard on it. And I think anybody who was a fan of Unsolved is going to very much enjoy it. And I don't say that lightly because Unsolved was my baby, but this is a bigger baby, I think.
a big baby.
You're a freak of nature of a creator. Cause like I was thinking of you when I heard you were coming on this, I was like, what are my memories of Ryan? And then I just remembered that you would like purposefully put yourself through the hardest fucking videos. Like changing your sleeping pattern when you did the like hangover
I
cures.
forgot about that.
Like you purposefully put your life through hell for the good of the internet. When you would obsess over the text of Unsolved in the beginning with quality check. Like I remember these days just being like, man, I thought I was the hardest worker here, but you might have had me beat.
No, I
And
appreciate
shout out
that.
to
You were
your
also,
DJ Dead Body when you did.
Oh
DJ
my
Dead
God. Yeah, I think that's what
forget.
happens when you get someone who's insanely curious, but also insane.
There you go.
Yeah. Keyword insane.
Leak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A crazy person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So check that out. Would love for you guys to come check out the show. And I'm really proud of it. So yeah.
Did you prove ghosts?
I think I've already proven that ghosts are real. Frankly, I think at this point, the whole show is basically just kind of like a Rorschach blot.
There you
for
go.
anybody.
Okay, yeah. Do you see it, or are you living in?
Are you living in
denial.
in the
In
Matrix?
denial.
There you
Yeah.
go. Well, go check out Watcher. You guys do great stuff. It's
thanks, man.
Real
Appreciate
quality over quantity.
Yeah.
and it's. I mean, you just put a lot of love and care to everything you do.
We
and
try to. we're trying our best.
You are. You're doing it. Not that you're trying. You're doing it.
Oh, thank you.
Own that shit.
Where can people find you?
YouTube.com/watcher, and then I guess on Instagram at Ryan Bergara, and then my Twitter is at Ryan S. Bergara, because there's another Ryan Bergara in the Philippines who has that handle. Him and I actually chat, though. We're friends.
You could pay him for that.
Yeah, we gotta fix that.
Now he wants the handle.
Well,
We got Garrick.
Yeah.
Garrick back.
But Garrick Bernard was already like,
Oh.
yeah, like nobody was using it.
Do you know
Right.
what? This is actually a good time to air that out, because there was a snafu where Twitter thought he was trying to impersonate me.
Oh no.
And they took the handle away from him and gave it to me. And I had been talking to him already. And he was like, hey, man, could you help me get my handle back? And so I had to talk to Twitter to be like, give him his handle back.
Wow.
But people were like yelling at me, being like, I can't believe you took that poor man's handle.
Yeah.
Like, you abusing your power. And I was like, hey, man, I helped him get it back. It wasn't my fault.
Wow,
Yeah.
now the true story comes out. Eat your
Unbelievable.
Hollywood story. Ryan
Yeah,
McGowan.
there it is.
Right here.
The truth's finally out.
that's not what I heard. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Zach,
Yeah,
Zach-
I heard
I
it.
heard
It was
that about
it went
you.
down a little differently.
we'll talk about this later.
Well, thanks for coming, man. I'm at Corn Day and all the things.
I'm at Kelsey Darragh and all the things.
I'm like Garrick Bernard and all the things.
and until next time, if you look for the good in people,
Marmalade.
you'll find it.
Also, thank you for having me on. This is
Ah.
this has
Hey,
been
that's the
incredible.
Paddington manners right
Yeah.
there. You guys want to go get marmalade?
Yeah, let's get marmalade.